Hello and welcome. You're watching me on youtube.com/NDTV. That's the site to go to for all the NDTV videos and shows that you may want to see. And every day we ask you, what is the story that you want to know more about? And we actually, ask you to vote for the story that you want more details of. So you can see the type of subjects today. And of course, JNU is still a story of big interest. And today the Vice Chancellor said that the classes should resume. However, they haven't because the Teachers Union said that they weren't consulted, and the Students Union has said that they are continuing with their boycott of the classes. Remember, the issue is actually over the fee hike. Of course, there was that attack that took place on Sunday in which a mob of masked men attacked students and teachers, and over 35 were injured. But the Vice Chancellor again saying that the classes could resume, but they haven't so far, or at least the teachers have boycotted it. Cracks in opposition unity ahead of a key meet. It was an opposition meeting called by the Congress, but many parties from the opposition didn't attend, which just goes to show that the Congress remains a kind of weak link in all of this. They don't really have that influence that they thought they had over the opposition. So various issues over why various members of the opposition have not attended this, which was meant to be a sort of show of strength of opposition meeting in the face of all these anti-CA protests and the economic downturn. The Supreme Court to hear pleas on women entry in Sabrimala. Now, this is not just to do with Sabrimala. Remember, the case has been widened. In fact, it's to do with discrimination against women in various religions, various issues from, female genital mutilation to the entry of women in various other places as well, including other practices. But it seems today the hearing was a little haphazard. A lot of the lawyers, placing their various points before the Supreme Court. So finally, the Chief Justice has, for now, postponed or asked for the next hearing in 3 weeks' time. And in the meantime, he's asked all the various lawyers to meet up and fine-tune how they're going to present the case in court and the various issues that they want to raise. So that has got, the hearing is now in 3 weeks' time. Holding their ground at Shaheen Bagh. Remember, it's been a month since the women of Shaheen Bagh have been protesting and sitting in this protest in the South Delhi area of Shaheen Bagh, which is very near the Jamia, Milia, Islamia. And yesterday, in fact, it was a big show of strength, a big show of unity and diversity, because you had various religions coming there. You had Sikhs there, you had Christians there, there were hymns, there were kirtans, there were bhajans, and there was, of course, the national anthem and the tricolor. So it's become quite an iconic protest, the women of Shaheen Bagh. And in fact, we were reporting on how it's actually spread to other cities and other places where women are sitting and, being the face of the protest against CAA in Gaya and in Prayagraj as well, in Kolkata as well. And of course, a lot of interest in the crisis in the royal family in United Kingdom, and today the Queen has called for an emergency meeting, so it seems a lot of you interested in that. So talking about JNU, today the High Court reacted to an application that had come to them regarding the investigation into the attack, and they have issued notices asking WhatsApp, Google, Facebook and Apple to save data pertaining to the 5th of January, that attack that took place. Because remember, a lot of media channels have reported, we've also reported about how there were these WhatsApp groups called Unity Against Left, etc., that were actually seemed to be planning something on JNU campus. So there are fears that, that information shouldn't be deleted. So therefore, this today, the High Court then reacting to this plea and issuing this notice. Also, one of the women, this woman, whose image has gone viral in all of this attack, she, it seems, has been identified by the Delhi police. They haven't announced it formally, and they haven't disclosed her name, though her name is known, but it seems that she's a member of Delhi University, an ABVP member as well. And so the police say that they have identified her and are calling her to actually speak to her. So that is the other big story regarding what the JNU violence. And today the JNU has also extended the winter semester registration date. Now the Vice Chancellor announcing that classes would resume from today. However, as we said, the Teachers Association said that they were not consulted. Some of them have spoken to us and said they don't feel safe after the attack. They're also very angry because out of the over 30 people who were attacked by the masked mob that was on campus and carried out attacks in two of the hostels. Many teachers were injured. Remember, we've been covering that, and that has been in the media. So they're saying the Vice Chancellor hasn't even gone to meet them, get in touch with them. So there's obviously a lot of strife on campus with the teachers still very, very angry over the attack that took place, and they're saying they weren't even consulted before the Vice Chancellor announced that the classes are to resume. Now, what happened earlier today was also something very interesting in Jamia. Remember, Jamia saw a student protest on the 15th of December, and then there was that, it turned violent, there was a police crackdown, and then there was a violent crackdown of the police on campus as well. That's what the students have alleged, and when their library was smashed, and students who were studying in the library were also, some of them said they were beaten, they were asked to come out with their hands in the air, etc., etc. So there's still a lot of anger over that. And today there was a gherao of the Vice Chancellor's office by the Jamia students. But what's very interesting and is a real foil to what we're seeing in JNU, where the Students' Union is so angry because for 2 months they've been protesting, but the Vice Chancellor is not having a dialogue with them. But in Jamia, the Vice Chancellor there, you can see Najma Akhtar, she actually came out and spoke to the students, and they all pitched their questions to her. There was another student who was actually mediating and kind of ensuring that things were very organized, and she gave in to one of their demands, which was they were asking for a postponement of the exams, and she said, fine, let's postpone the exams, and she's asked the students to sit with the dean and work out the details. So that's very interesting. They're also asking for a case to be filed against the Delhi police for that violent crackdown on campus. That, of course, Najma Akhtar spoke about. There are certain issues that they're facing, but they're trying to get to the bottom of it. What happened that night on the 15th of December in Jamia Milia, and the police have their own version, but of course we saw all the videos and the attack in the library, how windows were smashed, how students were terrified and being asked to walk out with their hands in the air. So there's a lot of back and forth, and students also very angry over that, and they also want more security on campus for the students. Now, speaking of the Shaheen Bagh protest that has become very iconic in terms of citizens' protest and women, sitting there for a month now at Shaheen Bagh, and yesterday it was very special because you had a gathering of various faiths as well, and you had over 1 lakh people. But now it seems to have sparked these copycat movements of women coming out and sitting and protesting. So in Prayagraj, a sit-in took place yesterday in a park where women came out to protest, and then they were joined by men. They were joined also by Samajwadi Party workers, and there was some talk that they may even extend it the way it has been in Shaheen Bagh in Delhi, where women have been protesting against the Citizenship Amendment Act. And we're also seeing visuals coming of protests by women in Gaya as well. So women really leading the front and with these protests, which are all done in a very peaceful manner, but with people sitting and they're chanting, they're sloganeering, their songs, their posters and banners. So that is what we've really been seeing. And if we speak about the big international story in terms of it's not in terms of those who are interested in the royal family of Britain. So the crisis in the royal family is something that has sparked a lot of interest. With now the Queen Elizabeth II, has actually called for an emergency meeting of the family members, and Prince Harry and Prince William, Prince Charles will all be there, and this is the to resolve this crisis ever since Prince Harry and his wife Meghan announced and dropped this bombshell without consulting the royal family that they were actually stepping back as senior members of the royal family and from the royal front line, and they wanted to divide their time between the UK and North America. So the Queen finally stepping in and calling for an emergency meeting in which the family members will then thrash out the way going forward. Well, that's all the time we have right now. Thanks so much for watching, and remember, do log on to youtube.com/NDTV for all our latest videos and all our news updates.